In today's video, discover how to craft stunning wood Christmas trees for a fraction of the cost of high-end store decor. Hi there, welcome to the Christmas at the Schwowin's Nest. My name is Sandra. Let's get crafting. This first project, I think, will probably be my favorite out of all of them today. And I used my xTool M1 Ultra machine to cut out all of these Christmas tree shapes. And I'd like to say thanks to xTool for sponsoring today's video. They did send me my laser engraving and cutting machine, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about that later. But first, let's take a look at what I'm doing to these trees. The first thing I did was use my mister and I spritzed them with a little bit of water, and that's just going to give me the ability to take all the paint that I want and create a stain out of it. So you can still see a little bit of the wood grain showing through. I decided to stain all of these, but you could definitely paint them with better colors, darker colors. Maybe some green would be really nice if you had 4 or 5 different tones of green. I think that would look beautiful too. But do whatever speaks to you. These are just inspiration videos for you and to help you decide what kind of crafts you'd like to create for your holiday decor this season. This is a thrift store find. I am always on the lookout for these types of signs. I don't use the sign itself. I flip them over and they turn into this beautiful rustic frame. I don't mind that you can see the staples in the corners. I think that adds to the character of it. This one was $4.99. I actually got 2 of them. The second one is serving as a little tray for all of my coffee bar essentials on my counter. So that's an idea there for you too. You can use these as trays. You could even put some handles on the side and it would look gorgeous as a tray on your coffee table, on your counter, or even on your dining table. Off camera, I laid out a pattern so I knew exactly what I wanted to do with these trees. And now it's just a matter of using some hot glue and placing them down onto the tray. For the second layer of trees, I wanted them to be elevated a little bit. So I grabbed these buttons that I had in my stash. I'll never use this color of blue. And I'm going to glue 2 on each of the bottom Christmas trees. And then that will just lift up the second tree a little bit more. Now, you won't be able to see this blue color, so don't worry about that. But you don't have to use buttons. You can use absolutely anything that you have in your stash. Maybe even just some tiny little wood scraps would work great too. For the third layer of trees, I did have to resort to using some beads from my stash because the buttons, I think there's like a pile of 6 buttons here on this bottom tree. And I thought, well, let's just go grab some beads or something else that'll just fill up that space a little bit quicker than having to glue on all of those buttons. I got my inspiration for this piece from this 7-piece wooden Christmas trees on a base that are available on Wayfair for $82. That's 82 Canadian. And I think I did this one a little bit better. I think I took it to the next level, adding all of these trees and putting it on this frame. What do you think of this? Let's take a look at the xTool M1 Ultra in action with 3mm basswood, which is what I used for this project. Because xTool's machines are fully enclosed, you have the ability to use them anywhere, even inside your home. I like to do mine in the garage, but if you don't have space, you can definitely set up your machine in front of a window and vent the fan and hose to the outdoors. xTool is having their mega sale for Black Friday. You can get up to 60% off, which is their biggest savings of the year. Next, today is a Crazy Friday giveaway. They've already drawn the winner for today. They got an xTool P2. But all you have to do to be entered for the draw next week is go to xtool.com and put in your email. You'll be automatically entered to win. Now let's take a look at some of these unbeatable prices. Whether you're decorating your home, creating unique gifts, or starting a side hustle, this machine opens endless possibilities. With precision cutting, you can personalize designs, take custom orders for other businesses, or even launch your own seasonal product line. There's a machine for every budget, and with their Black Friday sale going on right now, you don't want to miss out. With xTool, you get a fully enclosed machine that can do all sorts of different things. It's super easy to set up because it comes already done right in the box. All you have to do is plug and play. So what are you waiting for? Head down to my description box and click on the link to xTool. Using the same 1/4-inch plywood, I cut out 2 sets of these reindeer, one 4 inches and one 6 inches. And this is a dupe for this crate and barrel reindeer set. These are zinc, but I think the wood looks just as good. Gluing 2 of these together will make it a 1/2-inch piece, and that will allow it to stand on its own. I'm using weld bond glue to glue these together. I'm going to use these small Dollar Tree clamps to hold it in place until the glue dries, and then I'll very simply paint them black. This is one of the main reasons why I wanted a 20-watt laser so I could create all of these chunky designs and use them as decor in my home. I love the fact that they can stand on their own. I've seen these stacked trees all over the internet, and I decided to create my own take on them. I just used a 4-pointed star. I created a pattern, and then I also put a little hole in the center for my dowel. I could see this being used with wood, but also you could just use cardboard, you could use felt or cardstock. I think it would make a beautiful looking tree, whatever type of medium you'd like to use. I'm using a sage green kind of paint that I've watered down so I can create just a stain. This pattern will also be available on my website, so you can download it as a free printable and create your own stacked tree. I needed a base for my tree, so I found this block in my stash. I'm going to give it a little bit of a red stain using this Pioneer Red from Folk Art. You can see the star I have done in the red as well, and that will be for the top of the tree. So I thought doing the red at the bottom would just bring it all together nicely. I have my drill outfitted with a bit that's a little bit bigger in diameter than the dowel, so it will fit in there nice and snug. A dab of hot glue right inside the hole will hold the dowel in place while I assemble the tree. I'm going to be using a little bit of black twine, and that's what I'm going to use as the spacer in between my shapes. You could use a bead, you could use a different color of twine. I just thought the black lended itself to more of a trunk look. Another bit of hot glue on either side of the dowel will hold the shape in place right on top of the yarn. My holes are a little bit big for this dowel. That's why I had to use the hot glue to hold them in place. Make note of that if you do download my free printable, you might have to adjust the size of the interior hole based on the size of dowel that you have. I wrapped the twine around about 4 times and made sure that I did that for all of the shapes so there would be an equal amount of space in between. I used a little bit of hot glue to hold the twine in place as I wound it around the dowel. When I put the next shape on, I put it in a different direction because I like the look of that. Some of the stacked trees that I've seen online had the shapes all in the same direction, but I thought it added more of a whimsical touch to have them in a different direction. I cut the dowel, leaving a bit of space on it, and then wrapped the end with twine and glued my star right on top. This turned out to be a cute little tree. Let me know what you think of this one. Here's my xTool M1 Ultra working its magic on a 1/4 inch piece of plywood. It's cutting through in one pass. This one is a 20-watt laser. I've had previous lasers that are 10 watts and they cut through thinner pieces of wood, but I was really looking for something that had the ability to cut through thicker pieces of wood. And this is just the ticket. Once these are all cut, then all I have to do is pop them out. Sometimes for thinner pieces of wood, they'll fall out automatically, but for this thicker wood, all I have to do is pop it out like this. The inspiration for this wooden tree came from CRATE&BARREL. This one I saw and I just fell in love with it, and I knew I could recreate it with my xTool M1 Ultra. So I cut out all of the pieces. I created the pattern. Again, the pattern will be available on my website as a free printable, and I'm going to have a folder marked patterns so you can go right in there and then grab all the patterns that you want. Hot glue is all you need to glue all of these pieces together. Again, you could do this with cardboard, with wood. The Dollar Tree wood signs are not that difficult to cut through with an X-Acto knife. You could do that if you want more of a wood look, or felt, cardstock, you name it. You could create a tree like this with any type of product. Since the Crate&Barrel tree had a round metal dowel in the center of the tree, I painted all of the individual sections here that would be the trunk of the tree in black. For the actual branches or limbs of the tree, I'm using this gel stain and it's sort of a mahogany color. I thought that would be perfect. It has a little bit of a red tone to it, and I'm going to be applying it onto each of the branches and then just wiping off the excess. I found one of these wood slices in my stash, and I'm going to use the same stain to stain it because that's what the inspiration had. And then I'll just use a little bit of hot glue to glue the tree right onto the base. This was a quick and easy project. It was so much fun, and I hope you love this one too. For this next project, I was in my garage at night cutting out some more Christmas trees, and you can really see the smoke here from the wood burning. Again, that's being vented to the outdoors. I took my inspiration from these trees that are available on Wayfair. They are metal, but I decided to just work with wood this time, and I think they turned out just as beautiful. I'm taking some of these tumbling tower blocks that you can get from the Dollar Tree and using my drill again, just putting a hole in there so I can get the bottom stem of each tree glued in. Just a bit of hot glue is all I need. I'm going to just wedge that into the hole and then hold the tree upright until the hot glue sets up. I chose to do a set of 5 and I made them more tall and skinny trees, sort of like Nordic or Scandinavian trees. And I'm going to take them outside to my garage, give them a couple of coats of white chalk paint, and they're done. Super easy crafts to create using the xTool M1. I hope you enjoyed these inspiring wood Christmas trees and reindeer that will stand out in any space. They're perfect for holiday centerpieces or displays. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next one.